police department, or not the police department, I guess the military was doing a bunch of I guess they were practicing out there, and it ended up being them doing a couple of drills.
Well, that would be interesting too. I mean, that would be enough to alarm people that notice it. I find a majority of people just never look in the sky. And so it's a very, I mean, I got a funny feeling there's a lot more strange things going in the sky than we even comprehend, because a lot of people aren't just looking up at the sky. I mean, let's face it, they're driving, they're more paying attention where they're going, or, they're more, how often do you go out there and stare at the sky?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, I make it a point to do it every night. So,
okay.
To be honest with you, I'm out there every night looking at the sky, but.
What you need is a pair of infrared binoculars. Or,
I know.
You get a pair of those, I guarantee that'll scare you, because you're going to see all kinds of things you normally wouldn't see, and it'll just pop up. I mean, it's so, it almost looks like there's a battle going on out there, out in space. And when you have those things, you see things that you can't see with your naked eye. You can't see them even with a telescope.
Exactly. Yeah, telescope's hard to see through for sure, especially at nighttime. But yeah, you're right. Infrared would be the way to go for that.
Oh yeah. I'm excited about Terry Lovelace being on the show tonight. In 1977, him and his buddy, they were medics at an Air Force base at the hospital, and his friend, told Terry, "Hey, let's go camping." Neither one of them ever been camping before. They never had the experience of or the know-how to go camping. And they thought when they went to the campground, they made a turn. Instead of going in the campground, they turned the opposite direction. And they thought they were on state property. Well, they weren't. Lo and behold, they found out later it was federal property. But they went, they set up their tents and got all set up, as campers would do, especially newbies. And they noticed when it started getting dusk, this triangle light coming, and they first thought it was maybe helicopters or aircraft or like that, but it got closer and closer, and then they decided to go to bed. And that was the weird thing. When they went to bed, they heard that noise that sounded like a diesel train, sitting and idling.
Yep.
So one of them popped their head out, and they saw what they thought little kids running around, and they were shocked. Why would little kids be running around late at night? And then they noticed the craft. And tonight, I mean, it's going to be so interesting. When Terry's on, I want to kind of regress him back in time, 1977. And we're going to try to pump more information out of him than the last couple times he's been on the show.
Yeah, it should be interesting to hear what else he has to say about his friend Toby that was with him that night. That's what I'm really interested to hear. Oh
yeah, and the way he was also treated, when they went back to the base and they reported it, and the guys in the suits came, and that's where also it gets rather interesting. So I think it's going to, be interesting. Of all the abduction cases I've ever heard so far, after all these years, Terry Lovelace, his whole thing about the encounter with the UFO, the abductions, what went on in the UFO, is really, really puzzling and interesting.
Yeah, for sure, especially the aftermath of after when they got back, and like you said, whenever they started getting questioned, and then obviously, when he further got questioned, that's the really interesting part that I'm really anxious to hear about as well.
Oh, yeah. So that's what we're going to find out here tonight. And if anybody just heard me talking, I wasn't saying that over the radio. They wanted to know if I wanted to eat while I'm doing the show. And I can't eat. That's one thing. You kind of, they have these nice dinners around this time of year. And I end up having to eat it 3 hours later. So I guess that's better than nothing.
Yeah, same thing happened to me when I was in Iraq. Same thing. I was there for every holiday, and everything I ate was definitely cold after.
Oh, yeah. Well, Anyway, we're going to be going on break here. After break, you want to hang around for about 10 minutes? And you said you did some research about Terry Lovelace.
Well, yeah. I've read his book a couple of times, and I also talked to him on Facebook a couple of times. But yeah, I know definitely a lot about his account for sure, and what you guys will be talking about tonight.
Oh yeah, what's your honest opinion? I mean, I've interviewed quite a few people that claim they were abducted. He is, a very credible person, a former U.S. Attorney General, Assistant Attorney General, I should say, and a lawyer and all that. So, he's very credible. He's not somebody I would think would make up a story like this.
Yeah, I agree with you exactly. There's a lot to lose in this situation, and even after he told the account, there's a lot to lose. And what you look at is, all the stuff that he said happened, all the stuff after, and even after he wrote the book, the stuff that happened after that. You can't just throw that out. You know what I mean? It all makes sense. Like you said, he's a very credible person. Sounds very legit, and I think a lot of it lines up. And I'm right there with you. I think he's a very honest guy.
Well, if what he's saying is actually what happened, it scares me.
Exactly.
It really scares me. Because it tells me you're not safe anywhere you go. In your car, at work, in bed, anywhere. It just tells me you're not safe. Anyway, we're going to go on break, so I'm going to put you on hold, so don't hang up.
Roger that. Okay.
And you're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. Terry Lovelace will be on at 7:05, which is roughly about 34 minutes from now. And we're going to regress Terry Lovelace all the way back to 1977. That night at that camping spot, what actually happened and what those triangle lights were and all that stuff. So stay tuned to our show. You can find us also live, because I'm going to end the Facebook feed here in about 20 minutes at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. That's www.nightdreamstalkradio.com, or just type in Night Dreams Talk Radio. And when you get onto the website, it says listen live. When we're on live right now, you'll hear us live on the website. So anyway, we're going to go on break and be back in 3 minutes. And everybody, hang on.
That's the only point that's fixed. I once believed From our compound, from the West Coast to the East Coast to worldwide, both on the internet and terrestrial radio, you're listening to Gary Anderson on Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark.
And you are. Tonight, we got a great guest that's going to be on, Terry Lovelace, former medic, 1977 in the U.S. Air Force. He, went camping with a buddy and encountered a UFO, aliens, abduction, implant, and a whole bunch of stuff, let alone what happened to him with the guys in the suits after he reported it. Anyway, we got James out there. We got Ryan. Are you guys still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. How you doing, Ryan?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. How about you, James?
Doing good, doing good.
Well, we're all doing good. Well, so you read his book over, Ryan, several times. So after you read it, I mean, did it really open your eyes up about alien abductions? Because I'll tell you, like I said, of all the people I've ever interviewed, his is really is scary.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely is scary. And like I said, the first thing that popped out of my mind is he has a lot to lose right in this book. I mean, from his job title, but you're right. The account itself is scary. I mean, there are some, calming parts, I guess you would call them, towards the end after he wrote the book. But for the most part, it is very scary, especially the military part and what they're willing to do to get the information from you. That there to me is very scary because they're here with us on Earth. They can get to us anytime. I mean, and for all we know, that the aliens that took him, they're flying around in the sky somewhere. But the government, if they are the government, they can be in your. I guess the aliens could be in your backyard in a second too. But these guys are here on Earth that we know, and they're definitely not afraid to hurt you to get the information.
Well, my feeling, and I don't know what your feeling is, Ryan, but I have so many people, they come on the show and they say that aliens are here to protect us. They give off orbs. They've given us knowledge, and they supposedly have given certain people all this knowledge, but they give it to people that, well, I hate to say it, aren't anybody of any authority. Why would they give all this information to somebody that's not in any authority that, is not going to be able really to get the word out? I really think if they were making contact with us and giving us information how to save the Earth and what we need to do and all about whatever is going on, I think they would be contacting the right people. They just wouldn't contact somebody and give them this information and say, well, now share it. I just don't buy that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, it seems like at that part when they're talking about, giving them that information, it seems to me that that's a screen memory at that point, and what they really had happened to them is, they covered it up pretty much. I mean, but you're right about the information they give, and usually it's the same information. A lot of the times, we're killing ourselves. We need to stop this. We need to stop using nuke weapons. Grow more vegetables. But you're right. It's never anyone that's that has something to do with any of that.
No, I look at it this way. Okay, if aliens are here and they're trying to protect us, okay, I wouldn't. First thing, I don't buy there's 20